What's up, friends? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is MichelleAna. If this is your first video watching and your first time on my channel, welcome. If you've been here for a while, what's up, friend? It's been a long time, but don't get mad at me, okay? I'm back. I am here. I have been away for a little bit of time, and that's honestly what this video is dedicated to. What went down the last few months of my life, why I was away, and what's happening right now. So if you're interested in watching and finding out any of those things about my life, my little old life, just keep on watching. So y'all might want to go ahead and grab some tea, some coffee, a snack. You might actually want to go ahead and order your Uber Eats and, actually have dinner or lunch or whatever it is. Let me take one more sip of this tea of mine. It's gonna be one of those really lengthy videos. I haven't done a lengthy video in a really long time. Granted, a sit down, I'm still in my apartment, obviously, sit down video, and I have some notes here so that I can keep myself on track, because you guys know how these things are. You start talking and you're a half hour in and it's like, what did I even say in this video? So first of all, I want to say hey to those of you who have been following me for quite some time, who have followed just the evolution of my life thus far, from being a young girl who was trying to figure out this YouTube world and jumping into the unknown world of influencer marketing and being a beauty vlogger and vlogging my life as a wife, starting a channel with my spouse at the time, then losing my spouse suddenly, and then navigating grief and growing up in this space and all these things. Like, y'all have really witnessed a lot over time. And for those of you who are new to the journey, I have a plethora of videos that you guys can watch from just my testimony and in that regard, right? Because there are so many parts of my story that I'm just like, I haven't even shared a lot of the things that just God has done for me in my life. I feel like that was just one of many moments where God was able to just show himself as a comforter in my life. When I was just introduced to this new space of widowhood and being single again, I think that the miracle of that moment or that season was that he never left me, right? The miracle of that season was that even in my grief and even in my sadness and the things that I was feeling and experiencing at that time, the miracle simply was that his love had never failed me, that he was literally right by my side. And that is a major miracle for me. And so anyway, I'm going to backtrack to some of the notes that I have. So like I said, make sure you guys have your snacks and your coffee and stuff like that, because this is going to be a real lengthy, chill one. And y'all know we can have a conversation. We can talk and we can have a moment. And so it's so funny because, obviously this is a life update. And I was talking to somebody and I was like, truth is, I am tired. Y'all know that song by Tamala Man, Take Me to the King? And the first thing she says, truth is, I'm tired. Options are few. Whatever it is that she says, that is how I was feeling top of this year, 2021. And can y'all believe, like, we're sitting in August right now? I'm literally filming this video in August and you guys are seeing it in August. And so much has happened since the top of this year to now. I mean, literally 7-8 months have passed, and it's just so much growth, so many learning lessons, so many tears, so many things that I just were unexpected even within this year. So first of all, I know somebody's gonna ask, so let's talk about it. My hair has gotten so long. I can't even really show you guys how long it is, because I did wash it today. Just because it had been a while since I had last washed it. And so it's growing really, really fast. I wish it was as long as it well, okay, let me rephrase that. I wish my hair was, as long as it is stretched, I wish it was that way curly. Y'all know what I mean? Like when we stretch this hair out, it's up to literally like almost my butt, literally. But right now it's like sitting on top of my boobs here, right? Like a little, almost right there. And I'm just like, why can't you be curly and as long as down my back? And I honestly don't have any, like, I've chopped my hair off so many times, y'all. But right now I'm kind of on this journey of like letting my hair grow. So I've not visited Ona. If you don't know, Ona is my hairstylist. She is out of 5 Salon and Spa in Fort Lee, New Jersey, North New Jersey. And she's been my hairstylist for a few years now. She's gotten my hair all the way right. My blonde is actually like super grown out right now. I got to get it retouched, but nonetheless, my hair's been growing really fast. Now, I'm gonna show you the vitamin that I'm taking right now, but before that, my hair had already started growing really fast. And according to my last video, right, that you guys saw, I was experiencing, I had just gotten like blood work results that my vitamin D levels were extremely low, that my B12 was extremely low, like abnormally low, to the point where it was about to go to a whole nother direction. What was that? It was just not gonna look good. So I left you guys with that video, and then I was like, I really went into the comments because I was really asking for help, and you guys were able to drop so many amazing suggestions. So I took those suggestions, and I even, obviously the suggestion of what my doctor was saying with the vitamins, you know, I did what I needed to do. I am kind of like vegan vegetarian now, only for personal reasons, because, you know, I'm just still trying to figure out the veganism or the vegan lifestyle. And it's only just because I want to, like, it's not really anything serious other than the fact that I wanted to be able to eat a more like a healthier plant-based kind of diet. So, or yeah, diet. I don't really like the word diet. Can we change that? Lifestyle? Eat a healthier food lifestyle. Is that a thing? Can we make that a thing? So anyway, I started taking these Ollie vitamins a few weeks ago, and I feel like they've also been helping out with my growth. It's the Women's Multi Plus Omega-3 vitamin. It's a daily vitamin, and so I still take that alongside my what's it called? My vitamin D, B12, and like all that good stuff. So it's really been working for me. So that might be contributing to it. I don't really know. I'm just kind of sharing the wealth. And also the fact that I'm just really just taking care of it. My actual hair. So it's thriving, it's flourishing, it's doing all amazing things. I've actually really been loving the undefined kind of look. I know it's a little bit defined today. But she's been actually living very naked and very much so free. And it's so interesting how I have a little bit of a tighter curl back here, a stretch curl up here, gets different. It's my hair is just full of all of these colorful things. So anyway, I just wanted to give y'all an update because, you know, I already know somebody's going to ask me like, girl, child, wait a minute. Can we talk about how long your hair is? Because I'm the same way. Tell me about it. All right, now that we got like that stuff out of the way, it gets a little deep, y'all. It gets a little deep because I'm about to walk through a few things that I myself have walked through the last few months and also am currently walking through right now. And so I just did a Instagram live, I think it was last week or the week before last, and I forgot the title of it. I forgot really honestly what I was all the way talking about. I think I was talking about just like transitioning and new beginnings and endings and all that stuff. But essentially there was one part where I got really honest with everyone about how I absolutely love when people share their testimony of getting to the other side of things, right? Of how God saved them and how they conquered that thing and they're speaking from the other side. And if you've followed me for a long time, I've shared both the things that I've overcome the things that I'm overcoming and the things that I've also just been in the thick of, right? And in the moment of. And one of those being just the very vulnerable space that I was in back in 2017 when I was just broke, trying to figure life out. I didn't know where anything would lead to as far as just my life, my ministry, my platform, my business. Like I just was like, what do we do from here, Lord? Like, I don't know. And I love the ability to be able to document things and just share it with the world, because I think sometimes, and let me know if I'm the only one. Yo, let me go ahead and shut this down. Hold on. That's actually notifications that I keep getting in my mentorship community. So it's so funny. But how many times do we feel like we are watching these people online, right? And they seem like they have it all together, right? And they seem like they're coming to us every day, and maybe even myself included. Maybe I haven't done the best job in doing this, but they seem like they have it all together. And it's like, can somebody out there just be real with me and just say, like, I don't really like what's happening right now. I don't really know what's happening right now. It doesn't remove me from having the faith that God will come through. It doesn't remove the belief I have in my Heavenly Father. But the truth is that I'm still in the middle of this thing. I'm in this transition. I'm in this unknown space that I've never been before, and I really don't know how this is going to be. And so I had an honest moment in that live, and I talked about just how I didn't really know where my life was going in terms of where I am right now. And I'll share a little bit more about that in a few more points. But the truth of the matter is that we all are trying to figure something out, right? And so let's rewind back to May, right? My birthday month. May was my birthday month. I'm like, yes, birthday. I planned a trip to Puerto Rico. I had an unexpected invitation to go to Mexico from my friend Jules. I already knew that was going to be monumental. It was my birthday. I didn't realize that around my birthday, I always get this sense of I need to hurry up and do something. I need this to mean something. I need something to be memorialized in this month. There's something needs to happen. I need to launch something. Life needs to be given. I need to do something extra. And I did not realize that I was in this cycle. And it's not that it's a bad thing, but if I did not complete the thing that I started by my birthday or around my birthday or in my birthday month, I realized that then it created in me this kind of like shutdown mode, right? I go into this mode of like grieving, because as a creative, as someone who is an entrepreneur, I still working on it, but I tend to tie a lot of my a lot of the things that I can get done or my productivity with my level, not my level of worth in real life. Like I know what I'm worth. I know who I belong to, my identity and all this stuff. But for some reason, I feel less than in moments where I can't get things executed in the way that I see it, or I can't get things done. And maybe I'm just putting myself out there. Maybe I'm the only one, but it is what it is. That's my truth. And so sometimes, I really have to be honest with my friends and be like, listen, I don't feel like I do enough. I don't feel like I show up enough. I don't feel like I execute enough. I don't feel like I obey enough. I don't feel all these different things that I cannot do and that I haven't done, and like all these different things. And I did not realize until my mentor called it out on me, and she was like, we are all in this. We are obviously, like, the earth is on a rhythm, right? The earth is on a cycle. There are seasons for a reason, right? And so are we. We are in cycles, right? And so it's up to us to interrupt certain cycles in our lives so that we can interrupt poor habits, poor behaviors, poor things that don't even align to who God says that we are and the potential of what God already deposited inside of us. A lot of us don't recognize that the reason why we feel certain tension and certain pulls in certain areas is because God is making a demand. He is literally like, okay, it's time. It's time. And so rewind back to before I go to Puerto Rico and all these things. It was my birthday on May 13th, and that weekend I was gonna hang out with my friends in New York. We had it planned. The night came, the day came. We did all that we did, and I'm on my way back from New York. My niece is driving my car, and I'll probably dig into this a little bit more. But essentially, my car shut down in the middle of a busy highway. At that moment, there was no car at that moment. And if you know anything about New Jersey and New York, there's this tunnel called the Holland Tunnel. And so it's always busy up in there. And so we literally just came out of the Holland Tunnel and my car just shut down. Okay, my car just shut down. And so I'm going to do a whole separate video on what I learned on that. But imagine, like, I've had this car paid off for years. I'm like, ain't no way I'm about to get no car note. Like, I'm not doing it. Not right now. Like, that's not my focus. Like, I could commute for all I care. Like, it was the principle that God allowed me to see in that moment, that he literally stopped everything to get us out of danger and spared our lives, because we could have literally been ran over by a car, a truck even. And for some odd reason, there was nobody there at that time. No car, no nothing. And my niece was able to pull us over, and that was that. I'll talk about more about that later. But can you imagine, like, it's your birthday, your car, decides to just peace out on you. And here we are. And I'm like, dang, like, this is just thing after thing after thing after thing. And all this is happening while I am still going in my business, right? I'm still doing the things that I have to do and showing up and all these things, and nobody really know what was going on. And so that happens. I go to Puerto Rico. I'm like, I'm still going to have fun. It's still my birthday month. I'm not going to let this, bother me. And then I got the invitation to go to Mexico. And here's where that is such a huge moment for me, because I remember when I got the invitation from my friend Jules, she said, this retreat is dedicated to finishing the last thing that God told you to do. And here's my point with all of this. The way that life is set up, I don't even know why, how, when. It's pretty much because I'm his daughter. God has literally favored me in so many ways, y'all. It has nothing to do with the things that I've tried to do or not do or run away from or run toward, or the doors that I have physically opened for myself or shut myself or whatever the case is. But God's favor is so real that even in the midst of knowing, that I am supposed to get this thing done, I ran away for about 4 years. I ran away because I didn't understand how God was going to use that part of my story to be something beautiful. Right? It's interesting how we share our stories from a place of just enough. I'm going to share just enough because the real thing, the thing that's back here, that's just too much for me to even share, because I myself can't wrap my head around why it had to happen to me, right? Why God chose me to walk through this journey in this valley and this dry place. And so I ran away from it. I was like, God, we ain't doing that. I mean, we're going to do it eventually, but not right now. And so, I did a lot of influencer partnerships. God bless that. I did amazing things in my personal coaching business and things like that. I mentor women all over the world. Like, it's just amazing. God is like, okay, that's good. You're doing good things. But you've not done what I've asked you to. The one thing that I want you to do. The one thing that I want you to complete. You keep running away from it. And when I got this invitation Jules said that this retreat is dedicated to finishing the last thing God told you to do. I knew instantly that when she told me that and when she invited me and said that, I knew that God was using her as a vessel to remind me, I see you, and now is the time. Because where you're going into, mind you, we're still in May. We're still kind of like in this June zone. Remember, I'm the type of person that will shut down at a certain point in her, in a certain point of the year for some reason. Well, I know the reasons why, but for some reason, certain dates and certain times are triggers for me. Let me know in the comments below if that happens to you. Like if you notice like every July, you just experience a level of sadness or grief or whatever the case is, or you just lose your entire mind and structure and like all these different things. Or every January you feel pressure to perform because it's the beginning of the year and it's like everybody's working, everybody's doing, everybody's walking and going and growing, and what about me? And so I just want to remind you, I'm in this season, I'm doing these things. And so she says that, and I'm like, I need to go to Mexico. And granted, God literally provided and allowed me to go to Mexico, and it was just so beautiful. I just had such a beautiful accommodation that honestly, I was just in awe. And while I was there, God was just telling me and speaking to me in so many different ways and confirming time and time again, like, I got you, like you're doing this and I got you, like I got your back and we're making this happen. And I'm trying to make sure that I remember what that I stick to the plan of this video. But he's like, I got you. And you're probably wondering like, why didn't you do what God asked you to do originally? And, to be honest with you, I was afraid. I was afraid of confronting some of the raw realities of the story behind the story. Right? I was afraid of confronting. And if you don't know by now, the last thing that God told me to do to finish and complete is a book, my first book. And because I know there will be many, but he told me to finish my first book, and trust him with that. And so it's hard because throughout the years, I had just been afraid. Y'all maybe have been introduced to me at different points of my social media lifetime. I don't know. Lifetime? Yeah, lifetime. And, some of you were introduced to me as a beauty vlogger, right? I was doing hair and makeup and things like that. Some of you were introduced to me as a wife and vlogging with my husband at the time and all that stuff. And then some of you may have come after, like, Michelle, the entrepreneur, right? Or, Michelle, the single again, Michelle, wherever you kind of came in around that journey, was very significant for what God allowed you to see in my world at that time. And I don't think it's a coincidence that you're watching this video right now, and that, even if this is your first video watching on my channel, I don't think that's a coincidence either. I feel like a lot of us have allowed fear and the fact that we are called to have a level of vulnerability that is authentic to us, right? My authenticity and the way that I show up is not manufactured to try to look like someone else's version of authenticity, right? If I am loud and bubbly and whatever, that doesn't mean that someone else has to replicate that. What God has given to you is so special and so unique. And I understand that sometimes there's a burden there, right? There's this thing. I'll just speak for myself. Honestly, I was afraid. I was afraid of really walking this out and kind of being in this new space of being an author, self-publishing my book, right? Like, hello, what does that even mean? And so I'm learning so many things along the way while remember, there's a lot of heavy things that I'm going to be talking about in this book. So I'm figuring out the logistics of it all, right? And then here I am writing this story, writing into this book where I'm like, God, I still don't understand where we're going with this. And this brings me to what I first started talking about in this video, when I started talking about these topics, is that sometimes you have to really find the beauty of being in the middle. There are discomforts. There are interesting questions that we may ask ourselves. There's maybe even some doubt. I'll go ahead and admit it. There's some doubt in like, how is this all going to happen? How is this all going to roll out? And so if you find yourself in the middle, right? If you find yourself contending for something and being prayerful about something and responding to obedience and saying like, God, I know that I've delayed this for so long, but I know that now is the time, and I want to stand on the heels of your strength. I want to stand on the comfort that you are always there with me. And so welcome to the middle. Welcome to the place where I am currently figuring out just how to do this. And I'm going to take you guys along the way because I don't know this. I don't know this version of MichelleAna. I don't know what my life is going to look like within the next 6 months. Is it going to be beautiful? Is it going to be abundant? Is it going to be mind-blowing? Yeah, I know that for a fact. When we respond and when we give God our full attention and our renewed yes, God literally responds with his love, with his grace, with his provision, with his applause, right? With his ability to then take you from where you are to where you always were supposed to be. It's almost, it's his job to cover us. It's his job to father us. It's his job to make sure that he is taking care of us. And so when we recognize when we recognize who we were always called to be and who we were always reflecting, and we actually respond to that, can you imagine the joy of our Father, right? The joy of our Heavenly Father, and just his joy of seeing us press toward the very thing that we were always afraid of, and then getting there and being like, oh, of course you were going to show up. Of course you were going to have my back. Of course you were always going to be there for me. I'm standing on the history of God. God has always shown up for me. God has always provided. God has always been a faithful friend. He has always been there for me. And so, the reason why I call this video Truth Is I'm Tired is because I feel like I've been going through so many different tests and so many different just pruning. Like God is just like stripping away things that don't belong. And sometimes we grieve the things that we've had to let go of, or we grieve the things that God actually had to close the door on and not even allow. And we're looking at God, like, why would you do that? I needed the help, or I needed that in my life. I needed the financial this and that and whatever. I wanted this and I wanted that and I wanted them in my life. And God is like, oh, baby, I know it's going to hurt right now. And you don't really understand what I'm doing. But I can see the end. I can see the end. You can't see the end. I can see all of it. Trust me. Like, I literally have your back. Period. Like, literally. And so, I know this video is super long, definitely not like any of the other videos I've ever done, mainly in a long time. But I really hope that, if you're watching this far, I really hope that this video has really, truly blessed you, and that it's it's something that you can hold even for yourself if you are in the middle. And if you know somebody who is in the middle, you know, is trying to figure something out, is trying to figure out how to leap into entrepreneurship, right? Or how to actually, you know, publish that blog post or hit live on that podcast series or whatever the case is, like, send them this video. Like, I'm literally walking through what it looks like to become a published author, right? In my own book, to give God the glory ultimately. At the end of the day, it's not about us. It's how we show up in the gap and how we serve our people and how we're honoring God above all and how we're doing it. So I'm back, y'all. I am back. I have a few videos scheduled. I still have to kind of record them, but I'm gonna talk a little bit about my book writing journey, a little bit the breakdowns that I've had. I'm literally still writing it, y'all. I'm literally still writing my book. And it's still an interesting process. So I can't wait to see the book in the hands of those who have been following this journey and are starting to follow this journey. And just know that it started here and now, and I can't wait to see it in your hands and for you to read all along what I was wanting to say and share. And yeah, I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I will be posting again, thank God. I'll be showing a little bit of my travels as well. I went to Greece, oh my gosh. And I even went to Poland randomly. So I will be sharing a little bit about that in my next coming videos. But make sure you're following me on Instagram as well if you're not already. But I will catch you guys in my next video.